to secure the Manhattan criminal court where former President Donald Trump will appear on Tuesday. Earlier today, New York City police put up barricades around the courthouse and road closures are expected. The charges are still under seal, but he is expected to face dozens of counts related to an alleged hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. While Trump has called for protests, it's unclear if people will show up for his arraignment on Tuesday. Joining me now is Chuck Todd, moderator of Meet the Press. Good morning, Chuck.
Hey, good morning, Christy.
So we've seen both Democrats and Republicans and former President Trump fundraising off of this news. When you look ahead to Trump's chances in the 2024 election, isn't there a difference between one indictment on hush money charges and perhaps the collection of multiple indictments on a variety of charges?
1,000%, not just 100%. I think the accumulation of indictments, I think, is a much bigger political problem. If the only thing he were dealing with would be the Manhattan DA, it would then comparisons to, say, Bill Clinton and the whole Monica Lewinsky thing and whether that should have been brought into the legal system or not, right? That was something that the American public basically said, what are you doing? And if we were just dealing with this Manhattan case, maybe that perspective of the public, or certainly that historical precedent, would matter here. But there's far more serious charges that are being looked into on election interference in Georgia, of course, that you know so well, and obviously what's happening in the special counsel's investigation with classified documents and the January 6th insurrection. That doesn't mean manipulating your business records is an unserious charge. And what the former president's being charged with is something that many an executive has been charged with. We've had governors get thrown into prison in other states for similar sort of campaign finance type fraud. So it's not an unusual thing. It's not out of the norm. But of the three, it's certainly the smallest. But if it were the only one, maybe there'd be a debate about the necessity of this prosecution. But almost because there are other investigations out there, I think this is in some ways more serious.
Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is going all in on defending Trump. How do his potential challengers for the Republican nomination toe that line between supporting him and then perhaps using this against him so they can survive the primary?
Well, I tell you, I think right now there's no use in trying to differentiate yourself right now. I think politically I understand how these potential Republican opponents, whether you're Mike Pence, whether you're Ron DeSantis, whether you're Nikki Haley, have decided to, all right, we'll bash the Manhattan DA too. He's a Democrat. We'll use the George Soros crazy talking point because that's easy and the base will be okay with it. I certainly, though, probably would be careful with these other indictments, and I would be standing back right now. It may mean that we've basically paused the Republican presidential campaign for a bit as he navigates these legal hurdles. Manhattan, he's going to try to get this case thrown out of court, so we're going to have some legal motions that will be will eat up a lot of attention during the primaries. Then you have a couple other investigations with Georgia and Washington. So I think that I think this Republican presidential primary campaign doesn't really pick up again until Labor Day.
All right, Chuck, thanks. Meet the Press airs at 10 right after 11 Alive,
right,
Weekend Morning News.